said before, we have that comfort level with each other. We almost kind of can expect what each other are going to do before we do it.
Some songs just kind of write themselves almost, and it's pretty quick, you know, in an hour or so. And other times, you know, I'll labor over one part of one song for, you know, a week or something. So it, you know, it can vary. But usually within probably a couple of days, you know, I get the general idea sort of formed together, and then I demo it out on the computer and give it to Laura and John and Bryant, and let them kind of vibe with it and come up with what they think should go in.
And then I will play it over and over again to get a vocal melody going, and I'll just kind of hum something, and eventually, like, I'll just add lyrics to that part. It doesn't even really have any kind of rhyme or reason, because a lot of the lyrics have absolutely nothing to do with my life at all. They're not super personal. Some of them are, but I like to story tell, so most of them are just kind of stories of things that could happen. I used to write poetry a little more regularly. I used to write every day. I was an English major, and I wanted to be a poet before I could play anything. And so it's kind of slowed down a little bit, so now pretty much the only writing I do is maybe a little bit of poetry here and there, some journaling, and then the lyrics for the sword. Sometimes I'll flip through these old textbooks or English literature books that I have and just find a word and then work from that one word if I have like writer's block or something, which is kind of weird, but sometimes it'll happen that way, and sometimes I'll just hear something, like a word on the radio. It usually just starts from one word, and then I come up with a story or a theme in my head and just work from there.
Bryant has intentionally, like, this kit, he got that kick drum for a reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it sounds like it's somebody dancing like that. You like it over there? This is Justin Bailey. He's recording us. We're recording here at Black Iris, which is not necessarily a public studio.
It's not really stressful per se until after a few songs and you start to lose your voice, and then he's got the speakers on so that everybody in the room can hear every bad note that I'm singing. So that gets a little exasperating, because then I'll just start throwing stuff, and I'm just like, I need more water. And you know, when I record before I recorded in Clark's studio, which Clark just leaves the room and sets it all up for me, and I'm by myself, so it's a little different. As far as singing in the shower goes, I don't really do that. So but you know, it's a little, at first it's hard having different people listen to you. When I was in Rockbot, you know, I felt like I had to have everything perfect. So I've developed an ear for sharp and flat notes, and so I know when I sound, you know, like rubbish, but Justin is so laid back. Like, the first song I sang was this one, and he was just like, oh, you sound awesome, and it just like put me at ease. I was like, all right, I'm ready to sing now. So.
We're working on a Macintosh setup here. It's is this Pro Tools?
Yeah. DG Design Pro Tools HD digital audio workstation.
So as opposed to the just like with the camera work, it's as opposed to the traditional tape. We're just going all digital in this. It's drag and drop. It's a mouse. It's super easy. It's click 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 click. 2-inch tape
it's cheaper than tape.
Yeah, it's cheaper than tape, and it's less quirky in some regards. You definitely need some of the analog angles of it.
Outboard gear.
Yeah. like you see here on the left, to the left or right of Justin is you know, compressors and the like that give a little bit more analog flavor. It's available, like anything as the technologies get cheaper and cheaper. It's available a little wider. But basically, it just mimics. If he moves a fader on the screen, it'll the automation will bring the fader up with it. You can set it to memory, or also it moves on the fly as he moves something in or out. You'll watch it. But I guess we've worked with or around Justin for 10 years, on and off. Feeling comfortable. Like Clark's used to working in his home studio, so once we got out, he was a little nervous. But the beauty of the Pro Tools setup and some of the newer stuff is, dare I say newer, it's been used for a while, but you can just click back in. Just if you screw a part up, just go back in, click it back in. It makes it really easy. It's efficient. Not necessarily. I mean, Clark's just got a smaller scale version of what we're playing with here. The house, which is where this band was born. Everything's recorded. All the vocals, all the guitars, drums, bass. We did everything in the other room. Clark and I tracked the guitars, standing on either side of Justin here, and Laura was in we isolated Laura in the other room. But right now it's just it's just putting it all together. It's kind of putting it together, finding the finals, and kind of wrapping it up. It's kind of the hardest part of the process because you listen to everything so many times that you get a little burn on it. But as a band, this is our first shot at it. I mean, we're 4 shows in. This is an initial recording as far as the 4 of us. It's the first actual representation we'll have. Putting things to tape, it's a little nerve-wracking at times because it's the one time that you get one shot, you get one
Kick drum and kick again.
I mean, you can keep going back and redoing it, but a lot of times time can be your biggest constraint. You have to try to nail it and get it right the first time. Kind of the fine-tooth comb, like taking each individual sound, everything we put to the tape already, and correcting it, EQing it, and fitting it so it all works together. Kind of building the song up, seeing where everybody's supposed to live, supposed to be shelved. Man,
That's good. Where we're supposed to live.
I'll go to work, I'll be anxious at work, I'll try to talk to people about the show, get more people to come, and I'll just be kind of like shaky, but almost like overly caffeinated all day without the caffeine. It's just, no matter if we're playing at, the Nancy Reagan, or if it's an arena, which obviously we're not playing at, but I think it would be pretty much the same. I can't imagine being more anxious.
Usually lots of fun, occasionally stressful, and things technical or not working for you, like the last show where my guitar had every conceivable problem. But other than that, it's a lot of fun, and usually if all goes well, it's just a really good experience altogether.
And it's different every time, really. Sometimes it's really fun. Everything sounds great. Sometimes it's kind of scary. If you can't hear yourself, or if you can't hear anybody else, or if you start having technical difficulties, and even a bad show is still better than doing probably anything else I can think of doing. I heard it explained once, like that, doing it because you have to almost. It's like you get the bug and you just want to do it, and for that 30 minutes, 45 minutes, hour, whatever, you're in the moment. It's there, and it's a shared experience, and it's kind of cool, not to wax so philosophical about it or get super pretentious about it, but it really is. There's something special there.
So, yeah, completely nerve-wracking the whole day. I don't think it's like that for the guys so much, but I still get anxious the entire day. It's great. It's a good anxiety, but it's still anxiety.
Hopefully you don't have a full day's work first and then get in the car and then drive, to DC or something and then play the show, and we've done it.
Which is often the case. Typically it's like you go to work and finish work and you try to get something to eat and load the equipment up.
Hopefully get there and